That's myself watching, I believe. Right? What's up, everybody? What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Matty B, and I'm here with Matty B Wrestling, of course. We're live, and I just wanted to talk about the week in wrestling. We had a pretty crazy week with the Royal Rumble last week, which of course feels like forever ago, right? And then we have really good notable shows, both NXT, AEW, Raw, and SmackDown. I mean, we had a better Raw show than we've had in a long time. We had notable WWE Raw, or I'm sorry, SmackDown shows. Of course, we had extra good NXT and AEW shows this week. So, just wanted to chat about it, run through some things, and maybe we can chat about it. If any of y'all want to talk, we can talk. Anybody who ain't familiar with too much wrestling, we can talk about it. Any questions, whatever. And yeah, so let's talk about it. So last week was the Royal Rumble. 6 days ago on Sunday. And it was a good show, one of the better Royal Rumbles I can remember, which is good. Last year's Royal Rumble itself was really good, with McIntyre winning, and we had, of course, Brock running the table for half of the Rumble, throwing out everybody, which a lot of people didn't like, but I enjoyed it. But this year, we had Edge coming at number 1 and go the distance, even though he didn't do much throughout the actual match. Like, he wasn't notable in the match. He just was kind of there until Christian came in. Also, we had a Christian return on Sunday, which was pretty cool to see Christian back. But yeah, they shared a big hug in the middle of the ring. There were some shenanigans with Randy Orton in the beginning. He left, came back, and at the end, it looked like Edge had it won. He threw out Seth Rollins, who was, of course, returning as well. And then Randy Orton popped up out of nowhere, RKO'd Edge, went to throw him out, and then Edge did the little reverse whoop-de-whoop and threw him out. So Edge won. After last year, he made the big return, got injured in his feud with Randy Orton, and was out until Sunday. He came back at the Royal Rumble. So that was cool to see Edge win. I know a lot of people are upset about it or whatever, different about it, and I kind of was at first too. But the story is better than just an old guy coming back, like, say, Goldberg, or, you know, someone who just came for a one-off and they're in and out and that's it. You know, Edge never lost his championship. He had to give it up because he had to retire. So that's good. he came back and he has a chance to get his championship back. So there's nothing against that, or nothing wrong with that, I should say. And then, yeah, and he's gonna be around. You know, he already started making his rounds in WWE, and we even saw him, which I'll get to later, in NXT on Wednesday. So not mad about Edge winning. It makes sense for like a longer story that he's coming back to claim what he never lost, right? And I kind of hope they do the same thing with Christian, as John Ross Sapp was lobbying for on Twitter. Christian is owed a Intercontinental Championship match that he never got because he had to retire, and now we have Big E as champ. So shoot, why not? Let's see it. I wouldn't be mad at that. And then for the women's championship, we had Bianca Belair. And in the finals, WWE did another swerve almost. They had Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte Flair in the final three. And it got to that, started giving you that feeling, oh, God damn it, here comes Charlotte Flair's going to win again, you know? And of course she didn't. She got eliminated, and Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley had a nice little mini match to decide the winner, and Bianca ended up winning it. So that's very cool. Very well deserved by her, and she just has been I think everyone's behind her winning. I don't think anyone's against her winning. So it was good to see her win, and it was good to see her on SmackDown too, which we'll talk about again. So Royal Rumble, all in all, was good. Hella cool match between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. The end was a little screwy due to unforeseen circumstances, I guess. But to me, it didn't take away from the match. I really enjoyed that match. And yeah, Drew and Goldberg did what they needed to do. Drew came in. You know, they made you think. They kept pushing that Goldberg never won the WWE Championship. And then he came in looking like he might win the way they started the match. It was a fight before the bell rang, and Goldberg speared Drew through the barricade, and it looked like, here we go. But no, Drew won. They played the hits. There was nothing but spears, claymores, jackhammers, and a headbutt. So it wasn't like a long match. I think they said the actual running time was 2 minutes and something. And then the in-between stuff was... Oh, give me 1 second. I'm sorry. All right, sorry about that, wife. The wife called. I had to take that real quick. But yes, they came in, played the hits. There was all the big moves. That's all it was, and then Drew won. So that's what we needed to do. Drew continues to impress. His run has been good. Sucks it's happening with no fans, but good for him that he's getting some W's. So next, Raw. We had Raw, right? Raw happened, and Edge and McIntyre had a little spat in the ring. Edge was upset that Drew McIntyre was putting him over so much and not attacking him right away when he came in the ring like an ultimate opportunist would, So Drew's like, no, I'm not that guy. If I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna beat you fair and square. It's not gonna be any kind of shenanigans. So Sheamus got upset about that, and Sheamus came out and was trying to back up Drew. Drew was like, nah, I got this. Edge told him, watch your back, because you can't trust anybody. You're the champ. So Edge leaves, and then, of course, Sheamus kicks McIntyre in the head. So the next program we're getting is McIntyre and McIntyre and Sheamus, sorry. I feel like that's been building for a little bit. Of course, it should have been happening. And yeah, it should be fine. Sheamus has been doing really well in the ring. His matches have been good. I don't see any problem with this. it's a good placeholder feud while we wait for Edge to decide who he's going to face, which will probably be Roman, but we don't know. And we can get a bigger name for Drew when the time comes as well. So nothing wrong with this. I have no problems with it. They'll probably have a really good match too. And then also on Raw, we had we had a triple threat women's tag team #1 contender match. So Asuka and Charlotte lost the titles at Royal Rumble due to the whole Ric Flair and Lacey Evans thing. They came down, interfered like they do, and costed them the match. And they had this match again, or not again, but they had this match on Raw with them, of course, and they faced Lana and Naomi, who both returned at the Royal Rumble on Sunday, and then they faced Mandy and Dana Brooke. So of the triple threat, Lana and Naomi won, which was fantastic. Good for them. No problems with that. Although Naomi should probably break away at some point and, make a title run because she's pretty good. And then we had Asuka in the background looking like a prop, like she's been looking for a while, a prop in the Charlotte Flair, Ric Flair, Lacey Evans saga. So she looked at the end of this match. So what happened was Flair and Asuka were tearing it up, and then Ric Flair and Lacey Evans came down, and of course distracted them. Whatever. Charlotte looked defeated by this, and she just left, walked out, tagged Asuka in, walked out, and just left her. And then Asuka got pinned, which is unfortunate because she is the champion, the Raw Women's Champion. And she's just been playing second fiddle to Charlotte family drama this whole time. So hopefully she looked like after this, even before this, they did a backstage interview. It looked like she was getting frustrated with what was going on. So hopefully Asuka goes into a program with Charlotte, being like, hey, mother effer, you've been messing up our whole tag team thing, and also been messing up my Raw Championship thing. Like, let's go. And hopefully she wins that, because she hasn't had anything worth talking about as she's been Raw Women's Champion. And a win against Charlotte after, she lost to her at WrestleMania 34 would be a big win. So let's hope this feud turns into Asuka winning at Royal Rumble. Or at WrestleMania. I'm sure it'll be a good match. They're both really good. And then what else did we have on Raw that I thought was good? Oh, and then Bobby Lashley, right? So he hulked up. He was supposed to have a match with Riddle. Well, he did have a match with Riddle. And in the match, there was some shenanigans because Lashley had Riddle in the Hurt Lock or whatever he calls it, the full Nelson, but they were tied in the ropes, and he didn't break the hold at the ref's count. So he got disqualified, right? And but after, he didn't stop. He just kept beating the absolute crap out of Riddle, and he looked like a complete monster, man. He hulked up, like veins popping out of his head and his shoulders, and MVP was like, yo, chill, and then eventually he kind of was like happy about it. MVP was feeling it. So Lashley looked good. He's been protected a lot lately. He's been looking really good, and I'm excited to see what goes on with him, because he's been very protected, and I feel like maybe he will be McIntyre's WrestleMania opponent, and I wouldn't be upset with that because he's been winning, he's been tearing it up, so no objections here for that. And then on also on Raw, we had a lot of Damian Priest was everywhere. Damian Priest came out with Bad Bunny again. They had their thing at the Royal Rumble. They were like buddies. And then Damian Priest and him were together again on Raw. So there was a Miz TV segment that Bad Bunny was supposed to be on. Well, he was on, but Miz and Morrison were being dorks, and they were trying to get him to help them with an album. They wanted to do an album with his help. And he was like, nah, I'm not interested, but my homie wants to talk to you guys. And then down comes Priest, and then he beats up both guys, and then him and Miz have a match in which there was a slight assistance from Bad Bunny at the end. He took out Morrison and kind of distracted Miz to get Priest the win. But I mean, Priest being seen with Bad Bunny, who's like this mega star, right? Is huge. That's good for him. So, I don't see anything wrong with his debut there. But yeah, we shall see what goes on there. Hopefully he doesn't get just a 3-week push, the old adage, the 3-week push. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully he gets going. I like Priest a lot. Maybe they can do better by him than they did with Keith Lee. All right, and then we went on to Wednesday. So Wednesday we had NXT, and Edge was actually at NXT. So throughout the show, he's seen talking to Regal and different people throughout. Bronson Reed, he shows up. He's kind of giving Bronson Reed the rub. And then there's a segment where Finn Balor and Pete Dunne are in the ring, and they're talking whatever about they want to have a match at Vengeance Day, which is cool. Should be a hell of a match. And then Edge comes down, and he's like, "Well, hold on there, guys. I have the golden ticket. I can pick who I want to fight, and I've never had the NXT Championship." He's like, "I might want to go for that." He kind of teases that and tells them, "You guys have your match, and I'll be watching, and this may make my decision. If I like the match, I might come down and try to get that belt from one of you." So that's pretty cool. Ed showing up at NXT is really cool. And towards the end of the show, he's leaving, and Karrion Kross runs into him in the parking lot, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, when you're ready for WrestleMania, that belt isn't going to be on Balor or Pete Dunne. It's going to be on me. So if you want that NXT Championship, you're coming for me." And Edge is like, "Okay, you threatening me? Maybe I'll come back and kick some ass before then." So tease that Edge might be coming to do some stuff in NXT in the build to WrestleMania, which would be really cool. Never seen Edge in NXT, right? Imagine the matches he could have there. Maybe him and Christian could do some tag team stuff. Them in the UE, that'd be fun. Them and Ciampa and Thatcher. Oh my goodness, Ciampa and Thatcher. Oh, I love them right now. And speaking of, the Dusty Cup Classic, we had some notable wins. We had, of course, Thatcher and Ciampa beat the Undisputed Era, so they're in the semis and they'll face Grizzled Young Vets, which should be awesome. We had Legado del Fantasma beat Lucha House Party, which Lucha House Party's been killing it. I've been loving their matches lately. They had one on Raw as well against the Hurt Business that was just incredible. I love their matches. They're doing well. Unfortunately, they lost though, so Legado will be facing MSK on the other side, the semis. So those should be both good matches. Grizzly Young Vets versus Thatcher and Ciampa is going to be crazy. I'm sure I'm going to cringe several times thinking like, damn, they're going to kill each other. They make everything look so real, and feel so real. So excited for that. And then we got some more teases of the women's triple threat that's going to happen at Vengeance Day between Io Shirai, Mercedes Martinez, and Toni Storm. So that should also be really good. And then they set up Johnny Gargano versus Kushida, which should also be good. So the card's stacking up pretty nicely right now. I think those are the only 3 matches. And then I think the finals for the Dusty Cup both will be on there. So that'll be cool too. Either way, I'm thinking Ciampa Thatcher versus MSK. On the women's side, it's got to be Dakota Kai and Gonzalez, and I don't know who they'll face on the other side, but they got to be in the finals because Gonzalez there shouldn't be anyone that could or should stop her right now. So that should be the finals there. And then Dexter Lumis, I'm still like, I don't know what's up with him, right? So he's been beefing with The Way, Johnny Gargano, and Austin Theory, and same thing happened this week. Austin Theory had a match with Leon Ruff, who he beat, and then afterwards he was outside going to get the ring bell to attack Ruff after the match, and Dexter Lumis popped out, put him in the silence, He escaped, and as he was trying to run away, he grabbed the back of his head and ripped out part of his hair, and then just was like, just smelled it. You know, it was really weird. I don't know what you can do with him. Like, he can keep popping up and being creepy, I guess, or maybe he can be like somebody's hired hitman. Like, if there's a heel that needs help, he can be like, "Hey, can you take this guy out for me?" And he can be that guy or something. I don't know what he could do with him, but yeah, he's very interesting, nonetheless. But not too sure what his ceiling is. Yeah, and then, well, we'll save. I'm gonna save AEW for last because that was the most notable thing of the week. So then SmackDown, of course, we saw Edge and Roman go face to face finally. Roman came out and was demanding Edge come out and give him his answer, and Edge was not there yet when Roman was giving his promo, so he was upset and gave him till the end of the night to give him the answer. And you know, I'm sure we all know how that would go, but we'd find out later in the night. And he was also Roman was also very upset that Edge even went to Raw or SmackDown or Raw or NXT and wasted his time with those champions. As I feel like WWE thinks NXT is a waste of time because on Friday last night they also kept promoting the Daytona 500 that's next Sunday, instead of promoting the takeover they have next Sunday. And I get Sasha Banks is going to be the honorary starter or whatever, but at least throw in there like, oh yeah, also after you're done with that, watch NXT. Takeover is going to be happening. It's a good card, and it's going to be a good card. And I'd be surprised if Edge isn't there. At least to come in at the end and, you know, give a stare down or something. But yeah, they just put NXT on the back burner, man. They were just like not even mentioning it. They kept putting over the Daytona 500. So whatever, that's cool. But anyways, the show was cool. So yeah, Roman was upset. He wasted his time, and he's giving Edge the ultimatum, like you need to give me your answer by the end of the night. So, and then we had Bianca Belair come out, and man, she looked like a star. She looked like Sasha Banks level of star. Like her outfit was on point. She just carries herself well. She came down, you know, she's so likable. It's hard not to like her, and she was great in the ring. You know, she cuts really good baby face promos. And I was listening to the Busted Open podcast, and Bully Ray had a good point where he was like saying how she needs to be a little careful with being too like sentimental, I guess, and the whole she's got to keep up the EST thing. You know, she's the strongest, the fastest, the whatever, the bestest, the EST of WWE. And don't be too humble about it with the baby, like the cry, like no one believed in me, I couldn't do this, blah blah blah. You know, you got to keep that positivity or that kind of braggadocious persona up a little bit, not too much to where people hate you, but enough to where it doesn't seem like she feels like the underdog. You know, so. But other than that, she's great. I love her. I can't wait. She had an in-ring segment with Sasha. That was interrupted by Carmella and Reginald. So who knows? Maybe she'll have a little program with Carmella before she decides to take on Sasha. But I think the smart move is for her to take on Sasha and then have Asuka and Flair for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Because, yeah, I don't think her and Asuka would be. But there's no story there, you know. There's a better story with her and Sasha. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, she looked great. You know, very star. She looks like a star. She's gonna be a star. She is a star, I'd say already. Once she gets that title, it'll just put her over the moon. So yeah, let's keep that going with her. And then we saw, what else did we see? Big E had a big win. He had a triple threat match with Sami Zayn and Apollo Crews, right? So it was a good match, really good triple threat. Yeah, and then there was always the looming factor that Big E could lose the title without getting pinned, which I'm not gonna lie, there was some near falls that I was like, ah, shit, they were gonna take the title off of Big E, right? But he got it. You know, he ended up winning. It was a fun match. It was a good match. But at the end, him, his boy Apollo Crews looked a little pissed off. He was kind of seething in the ring, like flexing on Big E as he was celebrating. So he looked a little upset. So we'll see what goes there. I don't think Apollo versus Big E is the move or the right look for WrestleMania, unless they do something big, like, unless Apollo comes out as this like vicious heel, pissed off guy, and tears it up. Then yeah, I'll see him at WrestleMania. But as of right now, I'm not sure that I could see him having a big Intercontinental Championship match with Big E. So, but yeah, it's good to see something different from him. Just other than the smiley face, baby face that's just happy to be here. He's doesn't look like he's happy to be here no more. He looks pissed off. So that was cool. So hopefully that's leading to something for him. What else did we have on this show? Oh yeah, Cesaro got another big win and beat Daniel Bryan by submission this time, and it was clean. Another clean win, no shenanigans, nothing. Beat him with a sharpshooter, and then after the match, he, instead of doing a heelish thing, I think this was his babyface turn. He dapped up, he fisted, he gave him the bar fist to Daniel Bryan, and that was it. He bounced. So I'm happy. I thought Cesaro's push was donezo after he was pretty underwhelming in the Royal Rumble, but he looked good here, and he got another big win. WWE thinks highly of Daniel Bryan, so to see him pin 2 weeks ago and then submit Daniel Bryan last night was very promising. So put the rocket on him. Put the rocket on Cesaro. Maybe let him and Big E go at it. Nah, because that's face and face. And they're buddies. I don't know, but Cesaro, I mean, get him somewhere. I like him. He's very good, right? Very underrated, as everyone says. I've seen lots of interviews and whatnot where they ask who's the most underrated guy in WWE, and they always say Cesaro. So let's get it. Let's get him there. I'd be happy to see that. And then we had, excuse me. Then we had at the end of the show, right? So Edge shows up, halfway through the show or whatever. And he comes to the ring and he's talking about how he doesn't know who he's going to face, whether it's Drew, whether it's Roman, or whether it's even Finn Balor, he mentions. And of course, he's interrupted by Roman. Roman comes down with his boys, Paul Heyman and Jey Uso. And Edge is like, yo, why'd you bring backup? I'm here by myself. What's up? I'm already in here. I'm in here and I'm rent free in your head. So Roman's like, all right, you guys get out of here. This is your one pass. And then Roman's like telling him, say my name, acknowledge me, give me my respect. Just being a badass that Roman is been for the past, 6 months or whatever, 7 months. And then out of nowhere, KO comes, just hits him with a stunner, boom, takes off. Him and Edge look. Edge looks and laughs and walks out the ring, and KO just takes off. And Paul Heyman's like, oh, you know how he does. I love watching Paul Heyman's expressions when something happens to Roman or with anything. He's just hilarious. And yeah, that was it. That was the end of the show. And so of course it keeps you needing to watch to see who's gonna face who. We still don't know who either Royal Rumble winner is gonna face, and that's a good thing. I think keeps TV entertaining. Of course, Edge is there, which is another good thing. Hopefully, Christian shows up next week too. Like, there's a lot of good to come out of this week of wrestling. And yeah, and AEW happened on Wednesday. Of course, I wanted to say this for the last because of what happened. So this show was, I think the show itself was good without what happened at the end, but the end just took it over the top. So in the beginning, we had the tag team battle royale, and the winners would face the Young Bucks at Revolution for the tag team championships. And the kicker was that the Bucks were in it, and if they won, they get to choose who they wanted. And they made it seem like the week before that if they won, they would pick the Good Brothers and face them at Revolution, which what? You know, Impact on an AEW pay-per-view for a championship match. Like, what? It's crazy. But that's not even the most of it. So, anyways, Jericho and MJF win. After Jericho kind of accidentally gets rid of eliminates Sammy Guevara from the match, right? So there's some more tension building there, as there's been for a while with the inner circle. There was that, and then we had, of course, we had the Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa match, which, in my opinion, was the best, not only match itself, but built match, women's match in AEW's short history. So that was good. I enjoyed it. You know, we had a weird finish just because they had to protect Thunder Rosa. She's not officially their talent, so they don't, you know, I'm sure they had to make a deal to not make her look bad. But what happened was Rebel came in and removed the turnbuckle pad, in which Britt Baker rammed Thunder Rosa into, put her in the lockjaw, but she was already like passed out, like unconscious, and the ref called the match. So she never tapped or nothing. The ref just called it while she was in the lockjaw. So she lost. Britt won. Of course, she should have won. I think if someone was gonna lose clean or whatever, it should have been Thunder Rosa. But yeah, Britt Baker at some point needs to be the AEW Women's Champion sometime soon because she's the star there. And yeah, she's just really good. And I love Sheeta. She's so good in the ring and everything, but they're just not doing anything with her. And even now, she just, I don't even know when's the last time I saw her on TV. So yeah. And with that said, they did announce a women's AEW Women's Championship tournament that has a Joshi side, Japanese women, and then there's the American side that has AEW and NWA women, you know. And yeah, that should be good. Hopefully they'll air the Japanese side somewhere, maybe on YouTube or even just show. I hope they don't just show highlights, like clips or whatever, because I'd like to see those matches. I'm not familiar with a lot of the females on that side of the tournament, so it'd be fun to watch. So we'll check. I want to check that out. And then what else happened on the show? We had the Britt Baker, the tag team. Oh yeah, what's his name's wedding? Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford's wedding, right? So the best man in the ring, it was just like not the minister, but the guy who marries him, whatever, the official. Of course, the wedding, the bride and the groom, and then we had the best man and Chucky T. So, you know, they're doing the ceremony stuff, yada yada yada. And I think this was a shoot wedding. I think they were really getting married there. Like that was their real ceremony. So they did that. And it was funny because throughout the whole thing, Rusev is like, "Hey, you know, don't do this," or "I'm suspicious of this. I've been to a few weddings in my career, you know." And there was even one point where it was like a huge present that looked like it was like 6.5 feet tall. And Rusev is like, "What the hell is that?" And Chucky T's like, "That's my gift." And he's like, "Oh yeah." And then Rusev just like attacks it, tears it apart. You know, it's just an empty box, but he was thinking someone's in there that's gonna mess with the wedding, right? So anyways, they're doing that, and then Rusev's giving his toast. Oh, I'm sorry, Miro. I keep saying Rusev. Miro's giving his toast, and Chucky T like handcuffs his leg to the ring post, you know, from the inside or whatever. And then he's trying to get over there, and out of nowhere pops out Orange Cassidy he pops out from the cake, and he attacks Kip Sabian. Hey, what's up, Mondo? How you doing, bro? Thanks for watching. I'm just talking about the wrestling that happened this week, man. Just a lot of stuff went down in wrestling this week. I'm glad I was able to cover it all too. So, you know, my show is a little silly the way I do my reviews, but I thought I would get on here and just talk straight up about it. So I'm kind of just going through what's happened. So, but yeah, at that point, they attack him, and you know they ruin the wedding. Of course, someone was going to ruin the wedding. I mean, there's no wrestling wedding. I don't think that's ever not been ruined. So, but yeah, there was that, and then of course the big thing. You know, we had the big main event. It was Pac, Ray Phoenix, and Moxley against the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega. And of course, it was a hella good match. These guys are all really good. It was an out of control AEW tag match. You know, there's like the tags don't matter really until it's time to get pinned. The ref tries to keep track of who's in and who's out, and it just doesn't really matter. But um, yeah, the Good Brothers and Omega win. They do the magic killer to Ray Phoenix. And who Ray Phoenix was, he was incredible in the whole match. He was, you know, he keeps doing that dive where he goes like 100 miles an hour, dives out, and like lands on the barricade or near the barricade where it looks like he's gonna go through it or something. But yeah, that match was hella good. And then at the end, you know, there's a big brawl. Lance Archer comes out and kind of helps out the good guys. Or I don't even know if they're the good guys, but he helps out Moxley's team. And then everyone's out of the ring except for Moxley and Omega. And Mox is standing up, looking like he's going to do some dirty deeds to Omega. And then a hooded guy comes in with a mask on and just attacks Moxley from behind. Takes it off, and he's got his pink hair, and it's Kenta from New Japan, who of course has the briefcase contract to face Moxley for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. And I think it's at New Beginning that's going to be happening, which is this month. And man, that was just crazy, you know, because there's always been these talks that New Japan and AEW, they had this forbidden door that's been closed because there was a lot of bad blood there, excuse me. The way the Bucks left and Cody left and some of these guys left New Japan and they went on to create AEW. But I guess they're reporting that that's open, like they're open for business. Wrestling Observer's reporting that they're open for business, like they're going to be collaborating, and it's because they kind of need each other right now because Mox is the champion and they want to make money with him and they don't want to strip him of the title. They want him to defend it, but he couldn't travel. He can't travel to Japan. So they need him to do favors for favors so he can compete for New Japan in the US, right? Because his contract said that he could compete for New Japan but not in the United States. And now they have New Japan Strong, which is based out of the United States. Kenta is in the United States. So they're able to mess around with that feud. But yeah, I guess they're saying the pandemic sped up this relationship and now they're all in. Like they can help each other out. And I don't see any of that happening really right now. Like the big stuff, obviously Kenta's here and that's big. But seeing like Okada or like Tanahashi or anything like that, like the big names, Naito, you know, Ibushi, Suzuki, anything like that, you know. I think they should wait. Just wait it out the rest of this year, half the year, whatever it is, before they can start getting fans in America. And not like the little fans they have. I mean like full capacity. And just wait. And do those big surprises then, man. Like they have plenty of stuff they can do until then. They can keep building like Elite versus Bullet Club thing or like a two-sided Bullet Club thing. They can just keep building that until they can get a crowd and have this huge blow off. But don't blow their load too early, right? We got Kenta, which is cool and very surprising, and it lets everyone know that there's a partnership either happening now or blossoming. And we can look forward to more stuff in the future. And if it is just a one-off thing and they're reporting it wrong, then okay, cool, whatever. We got that at least. So very exciting stuff this week. It was a very notable week in wrestling. I really enjoyed it. So I'll keep doing my thing and keep. Hopefully, I can come on Saturdays now and just do a little breakdown of the weekly happenings. Next week, of course, I'll go ahead and cover Raw as usual, SmackDown, and then of course NXT and AEW on Wednesday. And then next Sunday we have TakeOver Vengeance Day, which, like I said earlier, stacking up to be a good card. and I'm excited to see what happens there. See what Edge's involvement is if he hasn't chosen Roman or McIntyre by then. Karrion Kross should have some involvement as well. He deserves a title shot. He never lost it. He had to lose it due to injury, of course, after he beat Keith Lee. And yeah, man, it's a lot to be excited for right now. A lot to be excited about in wrestling. So that's what I got for the week. As a wrap up, if anyone in here wants to chat about something, I'll hold off for a few minutes before I bounce, and if not, I'll end this, and I will see y'all on the minimalistic review on probably not Monday night, but Tuesday for sure. So send them in. What you got? Oh, one more thing. As I mentioned a few weeks ago, I was trying to collect the Retrofest set, and I just needed one more figure, and I got him here. Let's see if I can turn up my light a little here. Get it brighter. So I ordered this, and I got it last week. Or was it this week? I don't remember when I got it. But I got the final one, Mr. Perfect. There he is. With the Intercontinental Championship. Got his towel. He looks freaking awesome. No gum. No packs of gum. I don't see. But of course the boxing's great. It's the, the arcade Retrofest box. Got his, thing on the side, his stats in the, not his stats, but his, his attributes in the back or whatever. Finisher, signature moves. Really cool, man. I'm really excited about this. Of course, these aren't getting open. And I also have, I don't know if I showed this one. I don't remember if I showed this one off, but I'll do it anyways because I'm here. I got the Iron Sheik also a couple weeks ago. This was the last one I had. The last two I needed were these two, so got his big old mallets there. Side. I was a little upset. This one is a little damaged on the packaging, but it's cool, Got his stuff in the back too. So, and they all come in this cool arcade box. So the rest of the ones I have, hold on, let me put these back. The rest of the set is the Rocker, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Macho Man. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Honky Tonk Man. Freaking Hacksaw Jim Duggan. These two, and shit, who's the other one? I think there's one more. I can't remember. But yeah, really cool. I really enjoy those. I'll show them all off at one point. Mondo, what do you think of Bad Bunny in WWE? I think it's great, man. He's a superstar, right? He's big all over the world. Most people, I know his song with Cardi B just because it's on the radio all the time. I don't know too much about him personally, but I know that he's a big deal. And the guy that they have him paired up with right now is a new guy in WWE. No, he's not new, but he's new to the main roster, right? So he was in NXT, and then he came up to Monday Night Raw this week after he was in the Royal Rumble last Sunday. And yeah, putting him next to Bad Bunny not only gets a lot of faces on WWE, but it gets a lot of eyes. I mean, on Damian Priest, which is great for him. He's cool. I think people will see him and be like, oh, I mean, Bad Bunny's cool. He must be cool if he's with Bad Bunny, but just seeing him in general, he's cool. So I think it's awesome. It's big for WWE. it's big for him too, because apparently he's a huge wrestling fan, lifelong wrestling fan, and there's even rumors going around of him having a match at WrestleMania with Damian Priest against as a tag team against the Miz and John Morrison. So I think it's a win-win for both of them. That's really cool. Good for him. Good for them. And good for Damian Priest, who I care about the most in this whole thing. So I think it's cool, man. Thumbs up from me. Thanks for the question, brother. I also came across this Royal Rumble card game at Target. You basically like it's like an attack card. It's like Pokemon but with wrestlers. Pretty cool. Oh, it's upside down. Pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Played with my daughter. She don't like wrestling, but she liked the game, so I'll take it. Again, guys, if you're watching, Matty B Wrestling is the YouTube page. I've got Matty B Wrestling's my Facebook page. Also have Matty B Gaming on Twitch and Facebook. So if you're interested in those, check them out. I've had a lot of time the past few months not being furloughed from work, so I've been able to put some time into trying to build my own thing here, and that's what I've been working on. So I got working on a gaming channel and working on this YouTube channel for wrestling coverage. So those are the two things besides my wife and kids that I love the most. So Matty B Wrestling and Matty B Gaming on Twitch and Facebook. Sorry, I got Impractical Jokers on in the background. It's hilarious. Hilarious TV show. All right. All right, guys. I think that's gonna do it for today. Yeah. Check out my minimalistic reviews. I post a Raw one, and then I post a combined SmackDown. Sorry, a combined NXT and AEW one, and I post a SmackDown one. So check those out during the week. And if there's ever a pay per view, I'll do one on that as well. And I'm gonna try to also get this Saturday minimalistic. Or I'm sorry, this Wrassle wrap up going on Saturdays just to talk about everything a little more at length than I do on the minimalistic review. It's kind of a quick comedy, not comedy, but a quick review with a more serious tone. That's not sarcastic tone, I should say. But yeah, thank you for watching. Check me out again on Twitch and Facebook gaming under Matty B Gaming, and I'll probably be streaming tonight. I had some plans to stream some Halo. I wanted to play back the old Halo games. So yeah, holla at your boy, and thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.